Hello and welcome back. So in here we're going to look at how to limit repetition. So if we have a selection that we need to repeat, but we want to repeat it only a certain number of times, then we can use this limiting of repetition using curly braces like this. So let me explain how this one works, where you repeat a certain number of times. So in here the n represents a certain number of how many times you want a selection to actually repeat. So here what we can do is let's go back to regex.com, regex101.com. So let's say, for example, I have a sequence of numbers 0 to 9 like this. So I can put a bracket 0 to 9 like this and put a plus sign like this to repeat these numbers up to the end. But what if I only want to match when the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4? Let's see, for example, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and I have another range here and another one there. Now, another way to match this instead of using the range 0 to 9 is to use digits, since this is a number. These are numbers, so we can do /d and we will match it the same way. But how do we limit this range? Well, we can put brackets here. So if, let's say, I only want to repeat 4 numbers like this, so you see that now it only gets 4 at a time. So it'll get 4, 4, 4, 4. Now, if you notice here, it's that it's greedy because it will start 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will still match 5, 6, 7, 8 as a separate selection here. You can see this if you go this side and look at that. Now, if you don't like this, you can put word boundaries, which we're going to look at a bit later. I can do /b like so. Then it will mean this side there must be no numbers here. That's limiting. This is why you see here it doesn't match this because it has continuous numbers going this way. But we can put word boundaries on both sides like so. So if you put a boundary at the beginning here and the end, it means the selection must have spaces on both sides. If you don't like that, you can remove the boundary on this side or the other side like so. So if we want to match more than 4, you can just change that number to the amount that you want. So for example, 8 will match 8 numbers here, but not these ones here. So this is very straightforward. As long as the selection is repeating this number of times, it's going to be calculated. So as you can see here as well, it selects the selection is here from 1 to 8. If you don't like it, if you want it to only select 8 digits, a sequence of 8 digits that don't have extra numbers there, you can put a boundary like mentioned /b like so from the beginning to the end. So let's put one like this, which means it's not going to find a match here unless maybe it was like this, then it will match that one. Okay, so let's look at the second one, which is this one. What this one means is that it should only match the selection if it has a minimum of this amount of number. So if we come back here and we want to match any list of numbers that has at least a minimum of 4 numbers, then we'll do 4 and then we'll put a comma like this. So the 4 becomes the minimum allowed. So this one that is 2 will not be selected, but these ones will be. So if I put 5, for example, it's going to exclude these because they don't qualify anymore. This one has 8, so it qualifies. It's that simple. So here, instead of this D here, you can put a range of numbers. Maybe it's A to Z like this, for example. It doesn't have to be numbers. You can have a range of characters like this. So you see the selection begins only once I get to the 5th letter there. Once I have 3 like this, I can't match, but like that, the selection begins. All right. And then finally, you can do a min and max at the same time. So you can tell it to say match if it's a minimum of 5 but not more than a certain number. So let's go back to the digit selection here, /d, like so. So we tell it to match a minimum of, let's say, 3. So it's going to match all these, but it shouldn't match more than 5, like this. So as you can see now, it has omitted this part here, except this that has 3. This one doesn't qualify because it has 2. This one has 4, which is in between 3 and 5, which is good. So that is going to work. But if you don't want it to match this kind of thing where the numbers are connected, obviously put some boundaries, /b, like that, and then /b at the end if that's what you want. Here we get 4. We can also get a selection of 5, no problem. But once we get to 6, the selection is lost. So this is how you can limit your selection ranges or your repetition of a selection using regular expressions. So hopefully this was clear enough. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will get to them.